and welcome to the Spiritual Solopreneur Podcast. Today, my guest is Tammy Waldron. Tammy is the founder of Towanda Well-being and the RISE, R-I-S-E, Intuitive Healing Arts Center, where she guides therapists and healers to access the emotional, energetic, and intuitive root causes beneath surface symptoms so they can guide lasting transformation for others from the inside out. Tammy teaches trauma-informed, spirit-led tools like Theta Healing, silent counseling, and the Gene Keys to help practitioners awaken their intuition, trust their gifts, and return to the wisdom of true self. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. I know you've been quite busy of late. I've seen you on LinkedIn and you're here, there, and everywhere doing appearances and speaking and so on. So I appreciate you taking the time to come by.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
I love that you work healing practitioners because it is so needed. I mean, the
Mhm.
physician can't heal themselves necessarily, right? And just they need the self-care and all the same stuff that everybody else needs. So, um, it's fantastic. And I do want to ask you about the tools that you use. They sound very
Mhm.
intriguing. But just one quick question. Your company name is Towanda Well-being. What does Towanda mean?
Yeah, so I teach people how to grow in their intuition. And so when I launched my business, I sat quiet and connected with that intuition and asked, what's the name of this business that I'm birthing? And that came through. And so when I looked it up, and it is a Native American word for water, calm waters, running water. And then also it's from Fried Green Tomatoes, the
Oh,
movie,
I've never
Towanda.
seen that. I've never
Oh my
seen fried green
gosh.
tomatoes. I know, it's terrible. Is
I
Towanda the name of
mean,
the town or something there?
Towanda is the name of a woman that they are remembering, and they call out her name when they need to find this place of empowerment and being bold to make bold decisions of things that they want to do. So when I looked into both of those, I was like, wow, it's really the cross section between finding inner peace and being empowered to show up and be your best self.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. So you must have like developed your intuition along the way to be able to channel that name.
Mhm. Yeah, right. And so that's basically like what I teach when for people to join my program. It's about connecting to that intuition that we're all born with. It's our birthright. We have the ability to, I mean, it's there with us all the time, and we have the ability to heal, but it's gotten really muddy, and we've forgotten how to access it. So all of our traumas, our belief systems from ourselves, our ancestors, and past lives, if you believe in past lives, they all are communicating on the same channels. And so there's a lot of noise. But when you start to lean in and do this work and you start to unwind and heal and untangle, you will connect with that intuitive voice, and it sounds and feels very different. And then the theta healing meditation connects us directly with creator, source energy that speaks to us through that intuition as well, our higher selves. And it's actually something that I realized on the back end. Like I came into this work working to heal myself, and on the back I realized, wow, what I've actually accomplished is this fast path. Within seconds I can connect.
Wow. And you
Yeah.
teaching others how to do that.
Yes.
That's fabulous.
Mhm.
Do you so theta healing, let's talk a little bit about that. It sounds kind of brain wavy to me,
Mhm.
if that's for
Yes.
lack of a better term. I'm sure there's a much better term, but what is that?
Yeah, this is where it gets confusing for people because there's a lot of conversation about how important it is for us to utilize different brain waves and to relax and to help de-stress. So there's sound healing that you can go to that can put your brain in a theta brain state. There's neural feedback that can help you access this theta brain state. But it's actually that is happening, but it's just the beginning of what's possible. So when we go into which was developed by Vianna Stibel in 1995, a healer, she created this guided meditation that gets us connected directly into source energy. We use the term creator of all that is, this universal life force. You could call it self, you can call it nature, you could call it God, whatever makes sense.
Mhm.
And in that, infinite things are possible.
So are
So
you bypassing the guides and the angels and everything and going straight to the
that's
source?
that's exactly right. We're going up to the seventh plane where Creator lives, and we can then come back and connect with guides and angels, our higher self. Um, but it is very different than shamanism and other pathways of going through the ancestors to gain access. We can actually access it directly ourselves. And also, what's different is we are a guide. We're here to witness healing. We're not here to be a conduit of healing. Healing doesn't have to happen through our bodies, which can actually really wear out a healer.
Mm.
We don't need to absorb any of the sickness like we have done in the past. Healers have taken on other people's sicknesses and held space for them. And we don't really need to do that anymore. We can just go straight to source, have creator do the healing, and people themselves do their own healing. And we're guides and witnesses for that.
So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and so the the people that is it I know what I want to ask. I just lost my train there. Are we talking about physical healing as well as emotional?
It can be physical and or emotional, and sometimes emotional shows up in physical ways.
Hmm.
I think the important thing here is that this our intuition talks to each person differently. And so some people are medical mediums. Some people are tap into emotional and ancestral wounds. Some people are physicians and they're really can see into the bodies of people. So our intuition talks to us in the language that we know. So it's a precision tool that is combining our human knowledge and wisdom of what we've studied, connecting us to infinite possibilities. And so it becomes this embodied wisdom that we know. And that's why I love to focus on this work with integrative health practitioners and therapists so that they can bring it into their practice in whatever way makes sense for them. It can just be self-care because we know that all of our healthcare workers, no matter what field they're in, a large percent are leaving the field because they're burnt out. They're not changing jobs, they're leaving practice
Mm.
because they cannot hold that space and refill their energy buckets. And so this can do that for them. And on the other end of the spectrum, you can really weave it together to have a truly integrated system of mind, body, and spirit. Because let's be honest, like spirit really is not in what has been the modern day vision of mind, body, spirit in integrative healthcare. And this allows that to happen.
That's beautiful. Is that the when you're working with practitioners, what is the biggest block you find with them? Is it the burnout that's the problem? In
I think that all healers are searching. Well, we all are searching for something unique. We're all on our own personal journey, but I've started this journey with energy healing 11 years ago, and all the people that I have worked with everyone is trying to find their way back home to themselves. So whatever is blocking that path, I believe, healers want to help others so that they can feel valued and, you know, accomplish and help the world. And they want to be able to help themselves and fulfill their own buckets in that, but it actually doesn't work that way. We need to fill our own buckets. And so the people that I work with in this field, they're also seekers, trying to understand themselves better, really get centered and grounded in who they are. They might feel disconnected and separate from themselves like I was. And so that's mainly who I work with.
And how does that get manifested? They feel like they're not on the right path, or got
Yeah.
lost somewhere along the line, that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the way it manifests is they're working with clients and they really have a heart to serve people and they've done everything that they know how to do that they've learned and they know there's something more.
Hmm.
They can't quite get to the root cause of what is going on with their clients and they're feeling frustrated because they're not able to fulfill a lasting transformation. That disconnection leads to frustration and fatigue and burnout and
Sure.
makes them want to just throw in the towel
Yeah,
and walk away.
you don't feel like you're doing
Yeah,
you're doing justice to
right.
helping your clients.
Well, and the system really is against them in a lot of ways. The insurance system and the medical system, people, they can't spend a lot of time with their clients. So people are leaving insurance. So yeah, I want to avoid and help our practitioners so that they can stay and so that our system doesn't implode.
Hmm. Yeah, both.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
tell me a little bit more about how you got into this. Were you doing something else before?
Yeah. Yeah, my background is in education, but it goes all the way back to when I was in the womb. I was adopted
Oh,
and I was adopted at 5 days old. And so in the 70s, I was born from a mother who didn't want me, and I was put in a bassinet for 5 days before we knew about attachment disorders and how important it is for the human development to have that bonding. And
yeah.
so I had a primal wound my whole life that nothing could fulfill for me. And it was just insatiable. And I tried and searched in all the places the world told me to look, therapy and affirmations and self-help, and like none of it touched it. And then after my divorce, I allowed myself to be alone for the first time and really face that fear. And it softened and said, wow, give yourself some grace. You're doing the best you can.
Hmm.
And there's more. Keep looking. And then shortly after that, I found energy healing. And it was the first thing, Theta Healing specifically, was the first thing that touched and started to heal that trauma. And I knew in that moment I was going to teach because I'm not the only person on this path where affirmations was defeating for me. My system was like, that's complete bullshit, Tammy. You do not love yourself. You're not worthy or loved. I could stare in the mirror and say it all day, every day. It was not going to override the body and the lived experience of pre-verbal, this infant's experience. It's not logical
No,
and it's real.
yeah, you had to get to that.
Yeah.
So when did you find out that that's what happened to you?
I've always knew that I was adopted. When I was 18, I was able to get non-identifying information and learn more about that story, that my
Mm,
mother didn't want to see me or touch me. I
mm,
always knew I was adopted at day 5. It was just open communication. And my adoptive family is beautiful, loving and accepting, and just see me as one of their own. My mother would say I was a gift from God.
oh,
And yet I had this real polarization of, I think that's true. And my mom didn't want me. Like, do I have a mother? I mean, it took years of doing deep healing work for me to really believe in all parts of my body that I have a mother that loves me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I've had numerous people come on the podcast here, and we've talked about many things, and I've noticed a trend where it often seems to be it comes back to ourselves, does it
Yes.
not? It always seems to be whether you call it coming home or knowing yourself or trust yourself or whatever it is, that always seems to be the answer somehow. Is this the secret to a happy life? Or is it step one?
Yeah. I think it is real part of our bullseye of what we're here to search for. Our answers lie within us. It is turning in and then sorting through the mud and the muck and identifying what's ours to heal and dif differentiating what's not ours, because some of it is society's thoughts, beliefs, roles, expectations, assumptions. And we need to sort all that out and say, this aligns with me. I know my values. This is not who I am. And the more you get in tune with that, and the more you fulfill and love yourself, the happier we are, because it changes the way we see the world. It literally changes the way our brain works.
Mm.
We're growing new neural pathways. And when we're operating in those limiting beliefs and those traumas, we're reliving the past. We're reliving those situations. And
Right,
I
over and over again.
experienced it over and over again. And you learn those lessons over and over and over until you have one that's enough to wake you up and think differently. So the shortcut is think differently, look inside. All of this story that's going on, I like to refer to the drama triangle. There's three roles people usually assume when they're in story. The persecutor, someone who's always pissed off at the end of their rope, can't be pleased. The victim, who's on the opposite side of that, no matter what happens, nothing works for me. I am unlucky and I'm always the victim. And the helper, who tries to overimpose themselves to get value from helping other people. I'm the helper. I want to earn my worth. That's the one I take most often. And so it's been an untangling for me to know when we swoop in and help people, we are also pushing people into the victim. When you look at the drama triangle, it's an upside down triangle where the victim's at the bottom, and both the helper and the persecutor push people into the victim role.
Right. But you
It
don't
does, we
want
don't
to
have
do
to.
that.
No, no, all of that is stories from our limiting beliefs and our trauma. That doesn't have to be our reality. We can untangle from it and find out who we truly are and change our perspective and how we're seeing the world. And it doesn't mean that life is all unicorns and rainbows, because it is not. Life happens. Relationships are challenging and difficult. But you can stay centered in the eye of your storm, like the capital letter I in the middle of a hurricane. Life can be the hurricane, and you can stay grounded and centered. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, his quote is that, like, our power lies within that pause, that space between a stimulus and a response. Most people, especially when things are really muddy, there's no pause. Our buttons are pushed and we're reacting.
Yep.
And it was me in my early years. And I've been able through this practice to really grow a space. I still get triggered, but I can see it and I can unwind from it. And I lean on my support. We're not here to do this alone.
Yeah, for sure. And it sounds kind of like there's an easy way and a hard way to do it. And the easier way is to have this grounding and
Mhm.
get the support. And so many of us don't get support because
Yeah.
we don't value ourselves enough
Yeah.
to think that we deserve it, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a post on LinkedIn today that I commented on of someone talking about hyper independence, which her father doesn't ask for help. She doesn't ask for help. And ultimately, like, I have a piece of me, a part of me that likes that too. If I'm alone, if I can do everything by myself, I cannot get hurt. It's a really sneaky, self-sabotaging behavior that is based in fear and is so destructive to ourselves and to our relationships and ultimately to the world, because then it puts these like really bad expectations on people that they should be able to do things on their own.
exactly. That's exactly the problem with it. And then we start thinking, we have to know everything. And if we don't, we're an imposter and all this kind of stuff, especially in business, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
so it's
Yeah.
good to know that there's ways out of that and it doesn't have to be that, or it's not supposed to be that way.
Mhm.
We can, you know, um, fulfill our destiny, whatever we
Mhm.
decided we wanted to do here, alongside finding ourselves and making it a little easier. That's my
That's right.
interpretation of what you're saying. I don't know
That's
if
right.
that's right.
100%. a
Okay.
100%. And I know this is for solopreneurs, but no one is making it long or far alone.
Yeah,
So, like we have support somewhere. And if you don't, you're feeling really stressed and under a great deal of pressure. And hopefully, this is giving you permission to rethink that and know that you're not meant to do this alone. You're here to have supports, and you're not really leaning into your gifts fully if you're doing all the things, because everything gets a little bit of attention. But if you can lean fully into your gift and delegate other things, then you have more time and space to show up with what you're here to do, because we're all here to do something.
exactly. And I think solopreneurs are more susceptible because they're alone more
Yes.
of the time. They don't have, I'm a solopreneur. I don't have a partner here, a business partner to
Mhm.
bounce ideas off of or just to chat and that kind of thing.
Right.
So you're left with, oh, I'm on my own. Okay.
Yeah. I've tapped into business resources in my city. So SCORE, SCORE,
Hmm.
is nationwide and they have free mentors for us solopreneurs.
It's
They are
awesome.
people in business that volunteer their time to help people starting businesses. And their rate of success is incredible of people who sustain and maintain their business. There's a lot of small businesses do not last past 5 years
Right?
because of what we're talking about, right? And then what I do is energy healing, supporting and helping people to break through the limiting beliefs. Once we grow and really put ourselves out there into what we're dreaming of, it's terrifying.
Mm,
And
yes.
we hit upper limits. And you need someone by your side to say, that's a limiting belief. That's a fear that was true, but is not true anymore, probably. Or if it is true, then a coach that can help you navigate through that.
Yeah. Yeah. So important.
Mhm.
I was going to ask you, what has really lit you up about what you do? Do you have without naming names or anything, do you have an
Yeah.
example of a transformation that's really kind of
Yeah.
been memorable for you?
Yeah, my student, we just came back actually from presenting at the Interfamily Systems Conference, their international conference this year, IFS. That is a beautiful model of our psyche, how we work and function. If you're not familiar with it, highly recommend looking into that.
Mhm.
she took my course and it really transformed her practice in powerful ways. So prior to taking my class, she didn't really trust her intuition. She didn't know how to bring it into her sessions. And she was feeling really depleted and exhausted and wishing clients wouldn't show up,
Mm,
going home and not having energy and stamina for her child and her family.
yeah.
And after, she knows how to protect her energy, protect her space. She knows how to bring her intuition into the sessions. It's exciting to see what's going to show up. She's having more effective sessions with her clients. They are progressing in a more powerful way than previous because she's providing that energy into the room to have that safe space and allow things to process. And so it is a precision tool. Like our
Yeah.
intuition is so powerful. It can help us in our daily decisions. I have fun with it. I'm like, what should I wear?
Yeah, exactly.
What should I wear today? And then I'll go out and people will like comment on my clothes and it opens up an opportunity for a conversation.
Exactly.
I ask it like, what would be best for my gut? What should I eat? What should I avoid? Should
So
I
with
attend this meeting? Should I not attend this meeting? Like, I just check
exactly.
in all the time.
Exactly. And so how do you know it's not your brain talking? It's actually your
Yeah,
intuition.
yeah. Yeah, we do actually in IFS, we have all these different parts of ourselves. And I do have a manager part of me that is very helpful
Mhm.
and can help me get things done. But when you start to really connect with your intuition, it feels different. And then when you learn these techniques, there is a way to test for yes and no answers that are coming from source, not from our limiting beliefs or our subconscious.
Hmm.
And so it's a mix of both of those for me. Um, and sometimes my manager, I mean, it's awesome and helpful too. So I do listen to it. It helps me not to forget things but I know what fear sounds like. And sometimes it can really be very sneaky, like fear can be sneaky as like a helpful part. And that's why it's critically important to have a support around you so that you can be always talking and brainstorming. Like I have a visionary coach, I have a business coach, I have friends who I talk to like, hey, this is showing up. What are your, what do you think? And they can help me see things more clearly because we cannot see our blind spots. But
Exactly.
I know those blind spots are not my intuition because I know what it feels like. Oftentimes, our first connection with our intuition is in the rear view mirror. It's like, oh my God, I knew that was going to happen. Right?
Right.
And you know what that felt like.
I know what that
And
feels like.
yes. So like you remember, you go to that memory, you bathe in that memory, you remember that memory. And when it pops up again, because it'll be fleeting and quiet. And when it happens again, you stop what you're doing. You capture it and and you open up and say, oh my God, talk to me more. I want to hear you. What are you telling me? And then once you really connect with it and you know who you're talking to, then you can start to trust it and actually do what it says.
Yeah,
It's like a relationship that grows and builds over time in a beautiful way. And then you have this very quick, paved, narrow path right to your intuition that you can live
that's
into. And it takes time to develop and build. And even there's times when I don't listen to her. Like, I teach it and it's like, it'll come in and I'll be like, yeah, it. And then after I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so funny. Like I should have listened to you, but
You're so smart.
oh, we have our free will. And it just sometimes that's the other parts of me that self-doubt or like don't feel comfortable with where she's pushing me to go. And they'll be like, oh, I think this will be better.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, I'm tired and maybe it is.
Yeah, that free will can really get in the way of things.
Yeah. Yeah. And those are called in IFS trailheads.
Trill?
Trailheads. Like if you go hiking in the mountains,
Oh,
there's a head of the trail.
trailhead. Gotcha.
So when things are like distracting, sending you in places that you don't really want to go later, you're like, wait, how did I end up here? That little voice in your head saying, oh, wait, maybe you shouldn't do that. That's an opportunity to go, why? What's driving them to tell me those things?
Right.
There is a belief system, there's a trauma, there's something underneath that that's leading to that pattern and that behavior.
Yeah.
That's not
There's,
helpful.
it's not helpful.
But in its eyes, it is helpful. Like all things are helpful in our
Yeah,
body. Even our worst critic is trying to keep us safe and protect us.
exactly.
But what is she trying to protect me from? Let me go there and heal that so she doesn't have to have that job anymore.
Right.
And I don't have to have that pressure of reframing and always like trying to overpower because the body will always win. Fear always wins if we're trying to have a tug of war or an
Right.
arm wrestle.
Right. That's not the way to go about it.
No, no, our
Yes.
willpower will lose.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so what message would you like to leave the audience with today?
Yeah. Yeah. I was working with this one client when we talk about like what is that magic recipe and she was searching for her soulmate and it came through so clearly. You are your soulmate. So I always want people, the one thing, if I could have one thing that people know that you are the most important person in your life. And think about that. Let that really sink in. How is that showing up in the way you talk to yourself in your head? In the way that you schedule your calendar, in the way that of who you surround yourself with in your life. Because if we really framed it that we were loving and nurturing and caring to ourselves like we are the most important person and that we love the very most in the world, I think that would change everything.
Yeah, because so much of the crazy behavior comes from not loving yourself.
Yeah. And everyone not loving themselves. And it just,
Exactly.
yeah, peace is an inside out job. The
Yeah.
peace that we're hoping from in the world comes from inside of each and every one of us. And when we heal that, then we radiate a frequency and we show up in the world in a different way that impacts others in ways we cannot see always, but it matters. And that's really all we have control over.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Where can people get in touch with you? And do you have any new programs or anything you want people to know about that you're
Yeah. So you can
offering?
find me at TowandaWellbeing.com. I have monthly healing circles. I have one on the first Friday of every month. I think I'm going to branch out and test out what Sunday afternoons like too, because I know some people can't get away on Friday afternoons at 1 Friday, first Friday, 1 Eastern Standard Time.
Mhm.
And so you can come and join. It's just a time for us to come together and just heal for an hour. And then I do teach these techniques. So I teach silent counseling, I teach theta healing, and I have a year-long program that I'm ramping up to launch that will teach both and include a membership where we learn, practice, and embody this work together. So I'm really excited to get that going. And you can learn more about that and on the website and
Mhm.
you know get to, be the first to know. And I do send newsletters also. You can also find me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tammy, thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure.
thank you.
All
Yeah,
right.
tell us about you. Where do we find you?
Well, I'm a web designer and digital marketing specialist, and I help spiritual and heart-centered entrepreneurs get maximum credibility and visibility online with the website they love and that works. And you can find me at bevyoungmarketing.com. Thank you for asking.
I love that.
All right.
Yes, we don't get here alone.
You are correct. You are
Mhm.
so right. All right. Thank you, Tammy. We'll talk to
Yeah.
you again soon, okay? Okay.
Bye.